on the point in the agenda where they will get a chance to speak.
Yep. All right, sounds good. Well, we'll call the meeting to order then, and thanks everybody for taking some time out of your busy schedules, especially here in the middle of summer where a lot of you probably want to be outside enjoying the nice weather. So I appreciate everybody taking some time to join us here today. With that, why don't we go through the roll call, Bill?
Yeah, very well. Just one more check here, Ed, to make sure we're not missing any.
Yep, and while you're going through roll call, I can keep an eye on the guest list here.
Ed Lisinski.
I am here.
One second. Let's do this to make it less distracting. Mark Matheny.
I'm here.
Tom Allen. Tom, I thought was joining. No Tom. Audrey Klein is here, I believe, but she might be in a tunnel.
I'm here. Yep. Thank you.
Dan Dockery.
Here.
Chris McWhite. I see you, Chris. Yep. You're on mute. Mike Metcalf.
Hey, Bill.
How are you, Mike?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Very well, thanks. Steve Nordhughes. Amarinda Singh. Jim Williamette. Eric Woods. Robin Yoakum.
I'm here.
Oh, Robin. Doug Wise. I see Doug.
I'm here.
So we'll keep an eye on that list as well. Let's see. Just for the sake of once we get to the board members, we'll let them. We don't have Randy, so we'll reserve that time for them under item number 6, unless you want to move it up, Ed.
No, yeah. Why don't we can still hold it under number 6 like we normally would, and we'll give each of them a chance to speak if they wish.
Just for the sake of noting that, we have Director Bredmore, Director Spencer, Director Hampton. I see them, Spencer, Bredmore, and Hampton. And ICC staff is myself. I see Mr. Schmitz, Tim Schmitz. I see Mark Roberts. And I see John Belsick. John Belsick, CFO, has joined us. Welcome, John. We'll let you in at a chance if you. At this point, I guess I would say to you all, if any of you would like to speak, you can raise your hand, and the chair will notify me to allow you in, and we'll allow you a chance to speak. So feel free to raise your hand, and we'll go from there. But other than that,
I also see Russ Manning in the for ICC staff as well.
Russ Manning, okay, correct. Yes, thank you. I'll make a note of that for the record, but I believe you're all set.
All right, and Shirley's got her hand raised. I'm guessing that's Director Ellis as well.
I don't see her hand raised, but
she had it raised for a second there, and then took it back down. So yep, now she put it back up again. Shirley, if that's you, put it back down. We'll let you in later. All right. And same thing with ICC staff. When we do the ICC Board of Directors Liaison Report, if there are any ICC staff that wish to jump in and say anything, we can allow them in at that time as well. So at this time, also, we have we just did the roll call, and then we also have Governing Committee member time. So I'll open up the floor real quick for any Governing Committee members who wish to say anything quick or bring up topics for future discussion or topics for later on that did not make it into the agenda. Does anybody have anything that they wanted to bring up quick? All right, hearing and seeing none. All right, we'll move on then, and we'll go on to any announcements or changes or adjustments to the agenda. Does anybody have any changes or adjustments to the agenda? Any announcements? Anybody got to leave early? I know Audrey said that she might be through a tunnel in a few minutes here, but we'll rejoin once she comes out the other side. But anybody else have anything? All right, seeing none, then we'll move on to approval of the meeting minutes from May 18th. And that was emailed out to the packet to everybody. There's also a video recording of that on the YouTube channel. Does anybody have any comments, questions, revisions to the minutes? And if not, then I'll take a motion to accept those.
Matheny, move to approve.
All right, is there a second on that?
Second.
All right. Any other discussion on that? All those in favor of approving the minutes from May 18th, 2022, please say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? And that carries. Next, we'll move on to a special presentation. And Bill, do you want to introduce this for us?
Sure. Shannon, hello, Shannon. Very well. Thank you for joining. Today we have Shannon. I'm going to not say your name correctly, Shannon. I'm going to let you say it so that I don't butcher it.
I am used to it. It is Homolka is my last name.
Welcome. And Shannon is with us today to share some information about the ICC, some changes to the website, and some other maybe media changes for a short presentation. Shannon, I believe you have a presentation to share your screen, and I think I need to give you the permission to do so.
Yes.
And I just did that. You should be able to share your screen.
Yes, it should be coming up here. Let's see. All right, can everyone see my screen?
It's that way.
All right.
And just a quick reminder to the other GC members, make sure that you mute yourselves when you're not speaking. Thanks.
Perfect. So I have the exciting opportunity to share with you today, ahead of its launch, our website redesign. I don't think it comes as a surprise to anybody. We went through an audit of our current website, and we determined that there were definitely some deficits. The audit itself revealed that there were significant architectural and design issues within the website, which definitely were creating some issues with the navigation and the ease of finding information on our website. So we came up with a plan and a goal to solve those most significant issues and to create a standard that will act as the foundation as our website continues to grow. We definitely found, as we have been pulling in more partners and more family of solutions and products and services, which is great, we lost some of that consistency within our website. So we really wanted to create a standard as well to help us move forward. There are some newly designed pages that already exist out there. First and foremost, probably for this group, is the membership pages. We actually just launched those last week. So you will see some newly designed pages. The content is still the same, but the look and feel and navigation around those pages may be a little bit different than what you are used to seeing. Other great examples are the Safety 2.0 pages and the Codes and Standards pages as well. I can share this presentation with you all after too, so if you want to click on those links and go through those a little bit more, that will help you to better understand. But I believe I can actually take you through the membership pages now, just to give you an idea. And of course, it's going to be slow. And oh, that is not what I wanted. It may not work for me. So I will definitely share this presentation so that you can view those links further. The membership council pages will also be changing, although those will be part of the phase 3 portion of our redesign. So the actual homepage will be launching next week for everyone to view, but the further interior pages and pages further into the website will be part of our phase 3. Happy to say we are actually already working on the membership council pages. So you're going to see, some proofs that we'll go through actually right now. I know Bill Nash has seen a little bit of what we've been working on so far, but we will roll this out for all the membership council pages so that there will be a similar design and look for them. And I just, would remind everybody that as we're working through this phase 3 of all the interior pages on the website, we have over 30,000 pages that need to be redesigned. So it is quite an overhaul. While there's simple changes we can make to the text and the colors that you'll see almost immediately, some of the deeper design changes are going to take us a little more time to get to. So this is the timeline. Phase 1 we have completed. That was our initiation, our audit, and our development of what actually we needed to do with the design. Phase 2 is the rollout of the actual templates and the page conversions, and then of course this home page that really is going to be the big splash, and that will happen next week, the week of July 18th. We're actually shooting for Tuesday, just to give us some time in case there are tweaks and things that need to be done throughout the week as we start to find them. And then phase 3 will be that ongoing phase. And to be honest, this will be ongoing forever because of course we have pages, even as we redesign them or redo content, they're constantly needing updating. So we consider this a real ongoing part of the phase. Another piece that I wanted to throw in there before I finish this is we're going to be launching a membership drive incentive program. And we plan on launching this before the end of the month. But what it is it's a referral program. So it's a way to help us gain new memberships. Our tagline is good people know other good people. So we're relying on our members to help us bring in other great members that they may know. So through My ICC, each member can opt in to receive a unique URL. They can then share that unique URL with their referral, whether it be through social media, through an email, or just conversation. And that unique URL will help us identify you as the referring member. So when that new member becomes a member, you will then receive a $25 credit to use in the My ICC store. So again, we will be launching this by the end of the month. We'll be running it through the end of the year, and we'll heavily be communicating it through social media, a landing page, the new membership web pages, as well as ICC and your My ICC login. Actually stop sharing there so that I can see if we have any questions or concerns.
All right, thanks, Shannon. Anybody have any questions out of the group?
Yeah, obviously, if people would like to speak, please use the raise hand function, and we'll be glad to have Shannon answer your question.
Yeah, and again, yeah, it's not just for the BMC GC. If there's anybody in attendance that wants to has any questions or anything, you can raise your hand there as well.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was curious about, is there a means of communicating to the people who, yourself and those who are redesigning the web page, either suggestions or requests? One of the challenges that we're going to talk a little bit later in the meeting is how to get the word out, which is exactly what you're focusing on, how to ease the navigation in intuitive navigation of the web page and that kind of thing. One of the challenges that we're going to talk about is just how to best do that. And I'll be the first one to say I'm not a web designer, so I don't know how to do that. Is there a way we could have a conversation offline about how to actually make the online experience workable towards what some of the goals of the various committees and subcommittees are?
They're moving forward with web pages, if there's content, there's design. Both myself and then Donna Campbell is our director of communications, and she actually would have been on this call today, but she is on vacation this week. Her and I both work well together as far as I can help more on the design side of things, and Donna's team can help more on how to communicate that and actually put that together in text on your web pages. So it would really be the two of us that would help with that. Bill, I know you're familiar. We have a marketing communications request form. So all that we need to do is probably have Bill submit a request, and we can set up a meeting between whoever may need to be involved, and myself and Donna.
Glad to do that. Yes, absolutely.
I've got a question just with the membership drive, and I think that's a fantastic idea. Kind of along what Chris was just touching on. We also kind of do something similar, where where we're always trying to push people to join the building membership council or join some of our subcommittees and things like that. I know there's some people from the Emerging Leaders Membership Council on here as well, and and they're going around reaching out to each chapter. Same thing with that. I don't want to confuse it with the main ICC push, but maybe once that's through, could that sort of that unique URL system kind of be used for us as well then?
I love it. This is really the first time we're launching something like this, so it really is kind of the test for us, and we definitely would love to see it grow. I immediately had a lot more ideas of how we can use this, and even this point system. I have a marketing intern this summer who actually said, why don't we have some sort of loyalty system? He was coming up with all kinds of great ideas with it as well too. So I think there's definitely room and a lot of excitement around it to expand. So I'm open to hearing ideas as well too.
Excellent. All right. Anybody else have anything, or anybody from the attendees? All right, I'm seeing none. So Shannon, thanks a lot for coming on, and yeah, I'm sure you'll be hearing from us quite a bit, and I'm sure we'll have plenty of ideas for you on what we're hoping to do with our website and everything. So.
Great, thank you for including me today.
Maybe I could just, Shannon, before you go, one of the other items that was on there was social media, right? We try to promote our social media. As many of you on the call know, some of the attendees may not know this. We're pretty active from a building membership standpoint, building membership council standpoint. We have a pretty active LinkedIn page, pretty active Facebook page, which ties to Instagram. So please look to plug into those. I share an awful lot of information. Many of you probably, hopefully you're not deleting much of the stuff that I put out there, but you're receiving it and hopefully doing some good with it and sharing it yourselves. But social media also is a big part of what we do, trying to get that information out to you all as much as the website too.
And I will share, if you haven't followed us or paid attention to us on social media in a while, we do have a new social media manager who is amazing. She's been putting together a lot of different types of videos, a little bit more interactive type of posts. So I would encourage you, if you kind of fell asleep on us with social media, to come back on board again. She's been doing a great job.
Maybe just one more plug also for members that are out there. That Shannon, we talked about, that Chris alluded to, our form to generate interest. So a story, if any of you out there have a story to tell, think a good human interest story or a good code story or a good something relative to ICC and membership, please let us know. I know you can all call your GR rep, but you can certainly let us know, and we are more than happy to do stories. We have a team of media staff that is always looking for those good stories, and you guys all create them. So please let us know on that as well. That we've been able to affect some pretty good stuff over the past year or two, coming right from our membership. So please let us know if there's anything of interest like that, and we can get out to you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. From there, we'll move on to the Board of Directors Liaison Report. And Randy Metz was not able to make it today, but I do see we have several Board of Directors on. Bill, did you want to let them in? I also do see Director McDaniel stopped in as well, and Rick Hoffey from ICC staff popped in as well. Just wanted to recognize them quickly, but
yes, I'm letting, if any of our staff members would like to speak, please raise your hand. I'm letting all of the directors in now. I believe I've got everyone entered, and I'll just, Ed, you can pick on them as you wish.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Well, Director Hampton has his hand raised so nicely, so I'll let him go. And actually, if any of the board of directors could give a little bit of an ICC board report in Randy's absence, that would be appreciated. But Ron, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, yeah, Randy couldn't make it, and being the former liaison, I'll do a quick fill-in for him there. So we had our in-person meeting in Bluffton, South Carolina last month. As you're aware, your revision to your bylaws charter was passed as part of the consent agenda. We also handled quite a bit of business in a limited amount of time. It was a good meeting, but it was jam-packed, and so it was good to see everybody. Invite everybody to Louisville here in just a few months. Plan on spending a few extra days in the great state of Kentucky. You got Mammoth Caves, you got Corvette Museums, you got the Bourbon Trail, you got Natural Bridge. We got a little bit for everybody. There you go, Chris. Thank you. All right, and so the deadline for your governmental voting members is August 15th. That's on a Monday. We need to make sure that everybody is registered to vote. And other than that, I'm busy. I'm sure you're busy. Everybody's busy. I'm going to have to jump off here in just about 4 minutes and go to another meeting. And I'll turn it over to my fellow directors. Thank you very much, and great to see everybody.
Great. Thanks, Ron, for that. I think Director Ellis had her hand up next. Shirley?
There it goes. Okay. Ron covered almost everything that I was going to say in my report, but looking forward to having everyone there and ready to participate. It's going to be a great meeting. I just want to make sure everyone gets their government membership, voting members, get them active so that and activated so that we can have a good crowd at the business meeting. See you all soon.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Any other directors wishing to be heard? Not seeing any other hands up. Oh, Director McDaniel, go right ahead.
Sure. No, again, Ron covered everything very well. One thing just to note, I know you guys were talking about getting new members in. Any non-member that registers delegates gets a free 1-year subscription to a one-year building safety professional membership. So it's something you may want to let them know that they register as a delegate for this year's conference in Louisville. They get a one-year membership. So again, something to pass along to try to encourage somebody to become a member.
And I think you still get the free T-shirt right now, or shirt if you sign
Early
up.
bird.
Early bird shirt sign up. So, yep, get in there early if you can. So,
sure. Right. Good seeing everyone.
Yep, thanks, Steve. Director Spencer.
Good morning, everybody. The only thing I wanted to maybe touch on is, you guys talk about social media and where your group is kind of touched into social media. You may or may not notice that a couple of current ICC staff members, and I like to use the word ICC team because I believe we're all part of a team, but it is a word that we have to use. You'll maybe notice that they're posting some new roles. That doesn't mean that they're going anywhere. It just means that, in conjunction with the board and Dominic Sims, that better aligning some of the things that ICC does with the subsidiaries and putting them more in alignment and who manages who and where that manages. So nothing to be concerned about, nothing to be, thinking somebody's going somewhere or got some new job outside of ICC. It's just kind of a realignment thing. So just wanted to let you know that in case you were seeing that and you might be wondering.
Excellent. Thanks for that information. And then Director Bredmore.
Good afternoon. I just figured I'd add one last piece. Application for governing committees closes on the 27th. So that window is winding down for anybody who might be on the call and might not be on the governing committee that might be interested. Now is your opportunity. So also declarations to run for the board of directors closes tomorrow. If anyone wants to take that challenge on, best of luck to you. I did it. It was fun. So yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and hope everybody has a great week.
Excellent. Thanks, Ben. And yeah, and we'll definitely be talking about the call for committees here for the GC coming up in the agenda here. So, and that goes for all the different membership councils, not just the building membership council. You know, if you're interested in any of those, that call for committees open right now. So, with that, do we have any ICC staff that wanted to jump in there and say anything? We can, if you do, just raise your hand in the attendees list and we can bring you into the meeting. And I'm not seeing any, so we will close that part of our agenda and move on. All right, moving on to item number 7 then, the ICC Staff Liaison Report. Bill, you want to jump in there on that?
Sure, Mr. Chair. So rather than go through, much of our board did a fine job of giving information on what's happening in and around ICC world. But as you know, ICC is growing. Often we grow. We're a rather large group now. And I guess many of you received from me the GR staff update that Rick Hoffey, who's on the call here today, he's our editor and publisher at large. He seems to do a great job of getting all of the information into what's known as our government relations monthly update. Many of you have seen this document. It's now coming in a link. So many of you should get that from me and or your other GR reps, and just about anything ICC related you can refer to that document. I'd encourage you all to, number one, look at that document when it comes in through your GR rep, and number two, reach out to your GR rep in your region, in your state, if you have anything needed from ICC. Many of you do that on a regular basis, and I'm thankful for that. So without getting too deep into the updates, we've talked about that from our directors. I'll move forward and touch on some of the things that are on the agenda here. Unless there are any questions from any members on that before we go too much further. Any governing committee or anybody in our attendee have any questions relative to the government relations monthly update?
Well, I just wanted to add in there too. I think you guys usually send that out to the chapters as well, right, Bill?
We all seem to, yes, correct. We send it to chapters, we send it to our stakeholders, we send it to interested parties. If for some reason you're not getting that and you wish to get it, let us know. Let somebody know, and we will make sure you get a copy of it. It's a great resource that really is a one-stop shop for much of what we do as a code council.
Well, and I was just going to bring up, you know, in addition to getting it, you know, possibly from Bill, possibly from Rick, possibly from whoever your GR rep is, hopefully you're also getting it from your chapter, you know, because hopefully somebody in your chapter is getting that and then passing that along. So if you're not getting it from your chapter, reach out to somebody there, because, you know, a lot of us, if you're attending this call, you're probably somebody who pays attention to ICC. You know, you're not always the target audience, I guess. We want to get those people who aren't involved with ICC and who don't, you know, always get this information. We want to make sure that that information is getting out to them. So if your chapter's not forwarding that on, be sure to talk to somebody in your local chapter and make sure that they're getting that out to your membership and getting that down to every single person, everybody that we can. We want to make sure that they get a copy of that, kind of like Bill was saying. So yeah, thanks. Sorry, Bill, not to hijack you.
Want to make sure we get everybody's questions answered.
Yep.
So moving forward then, the first item under 7.1, evolution and status document. This is some of you, most of you on the governing committee will recall my traditional or annual or every meeting scolding to you all that this needs to get done. what I've just put up on the screen is the new and improved. I took it upon myself finally to get this done. If some of you recall going way back when, and this document goes way back to the beginning of time, it feels, in 2012, and it just kind of goes forward to 13, 14, obviously right through the pandemic and last year. And it's a historical document that we try to keep updated. Chris Young, going way back when he was chair and member of the committee, and then Dan, we tried to formalize this, and I've taken it upon myself to be the keeper of that. It's a good historical document. This, I don't know if this is not available currently on our webpage, but I'll make it available on our webpage. I know I shared it with you all, but it is new. It is something that I've took some time to format and put it in a nice readable format so that future people who are on this governing committee and potentially future staff people, maybe, I hope not, will be able to guide you from what historically has happened. So any questions on this document? Pretty straightforward. It just lists our committees, but any questions from our committee or anybody attendees?
The only thing I would mention, Bill, is just make sure to update the header. So I think you just took the old one, kept refreshing it, and it still says building official membership council, which we are.
Oh, wow, that's correct.
No longer. So
good catch. Yes, I'll make sure that gets fixed. Good catch, Ed. Thank you.
Yep. And again, not your fault. I'm sure you just took the old one when it was building.
Yeah, I must use that template. Yeah, no worries. Good.
Right.
Thank you for that. No other questions? So as much as I spent some time on the evolution and status document, this is also an outstanding action item. If you recall, our call for subcommittees. So talking with both Ed and Mark as chair and vice chair, this subcommittee membership, call for subcommittee membership, is something that goes back to last year. As we've had some changes on the governing committee, some changes to our chairmanship and leadership of these subcommittees, a couple of them have left, a couple of them have resigned. We just haven't had a good fill out of our leadership on the subcommittees. And what we intended to do after last ABM was to reach out to the full BMC membership and invite them to participate in our subcommittee task groups, so to speak. And that never really got off the ground. I'll take part of the blame for that for sure. But as it stands now, we've decided between Ed and myself and Mark to hold this document, and almost immediately after the ABM this year, we'll get this out. To be clear, though, people can still join our membership council. The web page is still active. That promotes our subcommittees, and we do get new people on occasion requesting to join those subcommittees. So happy to report that that's active, but we are looking to expand, obviously, and get more people involved in the subcommittee parts of what we do, and more to follow after the ABM. But this was one of my follow-up items to do from last meeting, and as we go on further in the agenda today, based on the way the governing committee status is lining up and people who may be terming off and whatnot, it's just going to create some confusion. The call for governing committee members, we'll talk more about that shortly, but rather than confuse people, we decided to hold off until the next after the ABM to promote that again. So any questions at all on that? Okay, good. And then lastly, ABM updates and events. So without getting too deep into this, relative to the governing committee people, you all are registered, I believe. You all have the link to register and have done so, we hope, at this point. Some of you have indicated you might not be traveling to come here, to come to Louisville. As I look at our roster, we do have 15 spots, but currently we only have 13 members. And of those 13 members, there are 2 that don't participate often, and they're not here today. So we have a relatively low number of people, but yet we still have a slot at the ABM. We will have our governing committee meeting. We'll elect people. We'll talk about the open positions shortly. But getting to the ABM, we all know that the event is on Wednesday this year. It was previously on Wednesday back in Vegas, and now then we missed a year, and then we had Pittsburgh, which was moved again back to Sunday, just because of scheduling issues. But we're back to Wednesdays. That's what the board has put forth, and that's what we have. And whether it's good or bad for you all in your travel arrangements, I think we've talked about this. If you have challenges with travel, then you need to let us know. Carla has been tremendous, as you know, on being very generous when it comes to travel situations. Taking note of the expense that's out there today, right? It is pricey to fly, so we want you all to be conscious of your arrangements, and ICC will do what we can to get you here safely and efficiently and effectively, so you can be here for our meeting. So any questions on the ABM, any of the events that we're having? I will touch on one other thing. The continuity and outreach group, we're still working and trying to confirm a meet and greet, as we have typically done for the continuity and outreach group. We're trying to find an opportune time to do that. We have confirmed a dinner on Monday evening at the ABM, and it is at a Brazilian steakhouse, I believe, which is traditional for membership councils for the past few years. So, and I'm hoping to be there this year, as I've missed last year, as you know. But that's on tap for Monday night, and then the meet and greet. So a lot of things at play. Of course, the ABM is jam-packed full of good stuff. Hopefully you're all going to be there. Any red flags that you'd like us to know about? I guess now would be the time to bring it up and let us know, or not, if you're not comfortable sharing. But we're trying to make sure we get everybody in order and in line for us to be there for the ABM. Questions? Comments?
I would just say it's amazing that you found a Brazilian restaurant in Louisville, Kentucky.
Well, it's called Brasilios, if that means anything. That sounds Brazilian to me, but we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure.
And same thing, I'll open it up to any questions. If you're an attendee out there and you have any questions about anything Bill just went through, feel free to raise your hand and we can unmute you, bring you into the conversation here. But I do see a few people from other membership councils in the attendees list. Bill, do we get that dinner information out to them yet, or not quite?
No, we haven't. I'm waiting to hear on Carla on confirming the potential meet and greet. I'd like to kind of share it as a package with everybody. There is a continuity and outreach meeting August 3rd, where we will share additional information. By then, it should be wrapped up, and we should have plenty of information to share with all the membership councils. As we do, we invite all of the membership councils to attend this dinner and this open house. So yeah, by the first week of August, we should be able to share with everybody those details. But right now, just know that it's Monday dinner at Brazilios, and then potentially a meet and greet, likely on the same day. But that's what we're targeting now.
So yeah, so anyone from any of the other membership councils, kind of keep that in mind if you can.
That's all I have for my updates, Mr. Chair.
All right. Anybody with any questions for Bill before we move on? Not seeing any hands raised. And technically, Bill, that was the last two, I believe, that you missed. You missed Pittsburgh and Rochester. So
yeah, that was not an ABM though.
No, it wasn't an ABM, but it was still dinner with the group here. And
yes, I know I missed that. Yes.
We need your credit card. So
stop it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I also want to note, as Bill was going through the ICC staff report, Shannon shared the link in the chat for the newly designed membership page. So you can click on that. And then Rick Hoffey also mentioned to forward on that GR monthly update to everybody that you can. So see the chat for those couple comments. So all right, we'll move on to old business. So the Charter Policy Task Group update, as was mentioned in the let me turn my video back on so you guys can see me, make sure I'm still here. As was mentioned in the Board of Directors update, the charter was approved by the Board of Directors. So those handful of changes that we made, and again, thanks for the task group that worked on that. I appreciate you guys going through that. Like we had said, it's been 10 years since the Building Membership Council was formed, and it was just a good time to go back through the charter, make sure everything was still accurate, still up to date, and so that was approved by the board, and I appreciate that. There were a few changes to it, and we've talked about this the last couple meetings, but just so everybody's aware, we do now have that secretary position. So when we get to we're not going to appoint a secretary right now, but when we get to the ABM this year, we will have 3 officers that we do need to vote on and elect. So we'll have a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary position. And then also we'll get to the nominating committee and everything coming up soon. But when the nominating committee is reviewing potential governing committee members, keep in mind now that we can allow the associate members in. And Bill has that up on the screen. So 2/3, not less than 2/3 of the governing committee will be made up of governmental members or honorary members. And that honorary members, again, is somebody that's recognized as an ICC honorary member. Not just if we want to call them honorary. They have to be, an actual ICC honorary member. So not less than 2/3 of the board is made up of that. And then not more than 1/3 is made up then of associate members. And those can be kind of anybody then, anybody with an interest in what we're doing. So that could be, architects, engineers, contractors, material suppliers, just about anybody out there.
American Wood Council employees.
I wasn't going to say that in particular, but it certainly would apply. It could also even be somebody who is retired but was not recognized as an ICC honorary member. So anybody who has an interest in what we're doing could be recognized then as an associate member. And again, that's up to 1/3 of the members. So like Bill mentioned, typically we'll have a 15-person. We have to have a minimum of 12, but up to historically we've had 15 members on the governing committee. So no more than 5 of them would fall under that category. It could be less. We could have 0 associate members. But just kind of keep that in mind as we're going through the nominations for governing committee, the BMC Governing Committee for this year. And I think that was the majority of the changes, Bill, right? I mean, there's a couple other little tweaks here and there throughout.
The only other item that was in there was, I certainly missed the letterhead for the evolution document, but we did miss one of the
right. Yeah.
Building membership official building
official membership.
There's a reference in here somewhere. I have to go back and find it. We missed that.
Yeah, it was.
Right
it was in the yep, right there. Yep. I was gonna say it was in the vacant position. That's where I was trying to figure out the nominating committee, and then that's where I found that one. So
yeah, we'll go in there
we'll get that corrected. So does anybody have any questions? Oh, and then also the policy update then on the elections was also approved, and I think we actually talked about that at the last meeting. So that will be in place for this upcoming election then.
We approved on the back here down at the bottom.
Yep. Yeah. We actually approved that in Rochester. We kind of talked about it again the last meeting, but that just talks about how to deal with vacancies and those types of things. So that's all in there and approved. So does anybody have any questions on the charter? I do also want to bring up, and we can talk about it later on in the continuity and outreach. But we just went through, updated our charter. I know the ELMC went through and updated theirs, and I appreciate their help on working on ours as well. I think that might be something for the continuity and outreach committee to kind of talk to all the other membership councils to see if it's time for them to update their charters as well. There's things that we put in there and ELMC put in there that they might also want to put in there, and just a good time after 10 years, like I said, to kind of go through it and make sure that it's still accurate. But that'll be something that the continuity and outreach committee can discuss. All right, any questions on that? I'm not seeing anybody with any hands raised. All right. Actually, real quick, Bill, do you mind if I jump ahead a little bit in the agenda?
Yeah, no, your call, absolutely.
All right. We do have a representative from the Emerging Leaders Commission here, or council here, Kevin Gore. If we want to bring him in, he's got to jump off in 10 minutes here, so I do want to give him a chance to give any ELMC updates before he had to run to another meeting. So Kevin, if you're in, why don't you give an ELMC update for us? And if you are here, I can't hear you.
You should be good.
Yeah, it looks like you're unmuted, Kevin, but
can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah.
there you are.
There we go. Sorry. Thanks. I got to run to another meeting here, so I'll be pretty brief. And if I miss anything, hopefully Rick can jump in here when I jump off. But yeah, as you mentioned, Ed, we did complete our bylaw change, and that was approved by the board at the last meeting. We did add the secretary position, just like BMC has there. So we will vote on the secretary position in Louisville coming up here. We also made some minor changes to the eligibility for the members of the governing council in order to not make it so narrow for those people who are looking to join. We feel like that we were leaving a lot on the table with people who were well qualified but just missed that cutoff. So those changes were approved. We also did have the nominating committee for the Trailblazer Award. Last year was the first Trailblazer Award that was handed out. That was established by the Emerging Leaders. And we did have several great applicants this year. And the committee did go through and review them and make a recommendation to the ELMC. And we sent that off to the nominee committee for ICC. And obviously, I can't name any names yet, but we will, obviously, everybody will hear something coming up here shortly in September in Louisville. Earlier, we heard a couple of the board members talking about the voter validation deadline. The ELMC has been working diligently on the Vote for Your Codes campaign. And we had a table out in Rochester trying to get the word out, trying to get individuals to ensure that they're registered and validated. There is a new, we did have a QR code that you could scan. I believe it is on the website where you can click the link to register and ensure that your voter validation status is valid. We are also working on doing a prize for either an individual or a municipality who has done that voter validation. We're still working on the details of that, so hopefully we'll have some information soon for that. But other than that, that's pretty much the ELMC update. So if you have any questions, feel free. I'm here for another 7 minutes.
Excellent. Thanks, Kevin. wanted to make sure that you had a chance to update us, because yeah, there's a lot of great stuff that you guys are working on, and yeah, thanks for being here.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll jump over to back into old business. Now into number 2, the candidate forum update. And Mark, I think you were gonna give a little update on that.
Yeah, most definitely. First of all, I just want to say that, and I'm not bragging, that I have found a way to get everybody's attention from coast to coast and border to border, ICC, non-ICC, everybody. And I'll tell you the secret. The secret is you take an event that ICC does really well and say you're going to do a similar event. You can't believe how quickly you get people's attention. Secondly, I want to apologize for any energy that took in either confusion, uncertainty, questions. I know there was a lot of conversations that went on, and a lot of questions that happened, and a lot of answers that couldn't be answered over, I don't even know how long of a period. It's certainly over the last 3 months. It might have been the last year. I promise you, we did not intend this to be a candidate forum. The intention behind this is basically, and the new name that I'm going to throw out to you today, or 2 options, is meet the candidates, or basically getting to know your candidates, right? And really, that's what we talked about. We talked about this for a little over a year now. Is we want the membership councils, all of them, to basically participate in the fact that there's candidates out there. And really what we have to do, and we're still working on what the structure of this looks like. To be sure, it's not going to be for 2022, right? So just don't worry about that. We're looking at building a structure and seeing the feasibility of this for the 2023 candidate pool for the board of directors. And what we're trying to do is basically create a conduit between the candidates and all the membership councils, but all the members within the membership councils, right? So we want to be able to everybody that we represent as building ELMC, global, sustainability, all of those, and to be able to grab your membership and say, hey, here's a central location where we can listen to the candidates, not necessarily judge them, not necessarily rate them, but basically hear what they have to say. And that could be as simple as basically just picking through the bio that they've included on their application that's posted on an ICC site, looking through that, saying, let's dig a little deeper, candidate A, let's dig a little deeper into this, candidate C, let's dig a little deeper into this. So it's really not, and a lot of you know, if you've gone through the process, or if you're familiar with the process, or if you're part of the interviewing for the candidate process, you know kind of how those formats go. We don't really want that to be a similar format. We just want to be able to have an open a platform, an open session for those candidates to be able to talk to our membership. And I promise you that was the whole intent behind it. And we're getting more structure to it. I've had a lot of great input from a lot of great people, so I really appreciate everybody I've talked to about that. And that's really what it's about. So Bill, if you wouldn't mind just striking through that candidate forum for our next one, and we're going to call it something else, and certainly not that. So once again, I think there's some good momentum, some good potential for this, but do not call it a candidate forum. And I'll be glad to take it. Awesome, thank you. Any questions that anybody has on that? We're working through it. We're really working through the C&O, right? The continuity and outreach is kind of building this. So Tim Deal and Jim Williamette kind of co-sharing that continuity and outreach responsibility, and we're working with them as to what that looks like, because that's the exact place for it, right? That's where all of the membership councils have a central hub. And so we're building it through there, and as the next months and months progress, we're going to build that structure and really come up with a great product. So so that's all I have to say on that.
All right. Does anybody have any questions about the event? I'll call it. Yeah, I know, Mark was able to reach out to a bunch of people and get some great feedback on there. And again, it's not supposed to be I think Mark nailed it perfectly as to what this event is supposed to be. Just a way to get to know these people a little bit more. So does anybody have any comments, questions? Anybody want to help out the Continuity and Outreach Committee or Mark or anybody on this? Feel free to let us know. But anybody have any thoughts on that? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to the Innovation Award update. Bill, are you taking that, or are we gonna send that over to the Raise the Profile
Well,
CBBPI group?
just a quick update on what's happened. Earlier today, the committee met and tentatively chose a winner. There were 3 applicants, and the committee, Chris McWhite is on that committee, and as is Audrey, who dropped off, it looks like. So they met, and maybe she's back. Hang on one sec. She's not. They met and tentatively have a winner, trying to confirm with a couple of people that couldn't be on the call, but by Friday, we will have a winner. They will be notified, and then the ball will start rolling. But I'll let Chris and or Audrey is not here, anybody that wants to chime in, but that's kind of, where we're at this point.
Ed, can I chime in? Bill, can I just chime in a second on that?
And Mark too. I'm
Absolutely.
sorry. You're right. Mark was on the call as well.
Oh yeah, no worries. What I just want to say about that, and this really is a great process, and it's it's really amazing to be able to look through the applicants, and all I say is what I want to do is recommend into the future, like maybe in December, once the new seats get set. And we know who that is, that, maybe even at that point, maybe that early in December, that we maybe pick who's going to be on the building side. So this is a shared opportunity with Fire Service Membership Council and Building Membership Council. And Audrey's done it a couple of times. I've been involved a couple of times. Christopher was part of it this time. And, honestly, I think this, my recommendation is that we kind of spread this out. I know it kind of lives in the CBBPI world, but I think if other members who maybe don't typically get engaged beyond BMC, who could volunteer or want to be volunteered, participate. If we can get like 3 people who would do that, who haven't done it before, it's just a great experience. So I really recommend we kind of spread this around a little bit, and that's all. Thanks.
Yep, definitely. Thanks for that, Mark. Do also want to recognize Director Boso showed up, and Director Sayers is in the attendees list as well. So thanks to both of them for hopping in here. We kind of went through our board of directors update before, but if either of you wanted to jump in there and say anything, I'll give you guys a minute here. Seeing, oh, there's Mike. All right, go ahead, Director.
No, I was going to say, go ahead. I don't want to
Oh, okay.
I'm just sorry I couldn't get in earlier, but glad to be here.
Yep, no problem. Thanks. Good. Always good to see you and Jim. Jim, anything to?
I'd reiterate the same thing. Just had other things had to be doing, but happy to pop in when I could.
Yep. No, appreciate you guys being here. All right. With that, we'll move on to the new business and the call for governing committee members. It was mentioned earlier that that we do have that the call for governing committee membership is open right now. I believe we have 7 positions that we're going to have open this year. One of which would be somebody who's just finished up their first term and would be eligible for a second term. But we're essentially going to end up with 6 new positions. Is that right, Bill?
So quickly, the answer is not quite. But
Okay.
just wanted to be clear, the agenda item is to make sure that you all know that, and not for your own your own knowledge, but for anybody that you know might have interest, and it was mentioned earlier on the call, the deadline for call for governing committee membership is July 27. So please, if you're, and the only one that frankly that's affected by that is Amarinder, I believe. He's the only one who would be affected by that. And he's not on the call. We'll need to get to him if he intends on running for a second term. But July 27th is the date. Please, if you have no people who are interested, let's get the make sure that then you notify them and get them to apply. Second,
and just to on that point, I'll reach out, but to Amrinder, but Chris McWhite, if you wouldn't mind also reaching out to him as well. I know you guys are pretty good friends, and just make sure he doesn't miss that deadline because we'd love to have him back. So, all right, keep going, Bill.
Yeah. So to touch on the number of slots that are available, the status as the agenda item calls for. Really, the only thing for you to know to be concerned with is, and I believe I sent you all an email to this effect, but the Jeff Griffin term, Jeff has resigned. We need to fill a 2-year term there. Unfortunately, both Mike Metcalf and Steve Nordhughes are terming off. They both served two full terms, and maybe a little bit more in one case, which is a good thing. But we'll talk more about both Mike and Steve terming off, as well as Eric Woods, who is terming off, whom I don't know if any of you know Eric, but we haven't seen him on any of our calls. I'm sure he's busy, probably took on the role and then got very busy. But so there are 3 terming off this year, in addition to having 2 resignations, in addition to Jeff Griffin, who resigned, Martin Van Gundy, if you recall, resigned. So as it turns out, the end result is, and Amarinder, of course, ends his term. So there's 4 slots there for a 3-year term, 1 2-year term, and 1 1-year term. All of that will get flushed out. Now, Carla has confirmed that. So if you're confused about it, then, get in line. We're all confused a little bit by where that all lands. But how that spins out to the next agenda item, the nominating committee, as per that document that we, and I'll put it up. This is the document that was previously approved. There's not much for the nominating committee to do other than appoint them, but we know who they are already because it's spelled out in this document. And we can't do anything until, number 1, the call for committees closes. And then number 2, within 2 weeks, distribute the applications to the nominating committee and schedule a meeting. And then all of this other stuff will kick in. So to just answer the question on who is on the nominating committee, as it says, the nominating committee is made up of
basically everyone on this call.
Everyone on this call, yeah.
Because Amrinder's not here, and yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Amrinder is on his way. He had a Microsoft Teams link, and apparently this WebEx link didn't quite make it to him, so I've sent him a link, so hopefully be able to get on soon.
So yeah, item 3. Here it is. So the governing committee members of the nominating committee whose terms are not terminating shall act as a nominating committee. So that's where that comes from, right down here. So you're right. So just about everybody on this call, if Amarinder joins, obviously he won't be on the call. But we will sort all of that out come July 27, when the applications become available for the nominating committee, and then we'll start that ball rolling towards filling out the slots. Bottom line is, folks, is we have 5 new people coming on board one way or another. So spread the word. Let's try to get a pretty good slate of candidates for us to pick from.
And like Bill mentioned, yeah, so this is closing pretty much the end of July. They've got 2 weeks to get us the information, so that should be mid-August. And with a little bit earlier of an ABM this year, we're gonna have to have some quick turnaround on that. You know, we got Labor Day thrown in there, but probably end of August or very, very early September, we're gonna have to get together and pick some candidates, and hopefully we've got some good ones. I know I reached out to some people on the ELMC to let them know, hey, you know, don't forget to apply for the building membership council if you're terming off. But if anybody knows of anybody else in your areas, you know, we're definitely looking for some really good quality candidates to jump in here to, you know, to complement the already large slate of quality candidates that we have on the BMC GC. So
absolutely.
All right. Anybody have any questions on the nominating committee or elections or any of that? All right. I'm not seeing any hands up. Nobody's unmuting. So, all right. More to come with that. So we'll move on then to the subcommittee reports. Raise the profile. We can skip for now if Amrinder's possibly on his way in, but let's jump over then to CBBPI. Chris?
Well, we didn't do anything. We just looked at each other and talked about all the wonderful bourbon yet to come. And I think we also talked a little bit about taking a kid fishing, which we've been told to do many times before. I wasn't able to get that done, but I was able to take a scout troop camping, so that was good.
I didn't take the scout troop bourbon hopping.
Yeah, no. No, we actually did have a good meeting. We had a nice conversation about all the things that we talked about already with innovations. It's excited to hear just how we're moving forward with that one. Obviously, Bill had mentioned we had a meeting earlier today. We talked about the innovations awards, and we're excited to see how that's developing, and it's going to continue to develop because anything that's good doesn't just stay static; it gets better, right? I was able to complete a draft edition of what was started with our last year for this committee, which was the vision, purpose, and mission. There's some draft language on that, so I'm anticipating and looking forward to hearing some responses back from the members of CBBPI. We got to get a better way to say that because you just kind of stumble over those acronyms. I'm looking for a response on that one to get some thoughts on what your thoughts are, to kind of wrestle with it and see if the language sits well, if it's like, this would sound better if it did this. And we also took a look at some of our first impressions with marketing and social media and best practices and all the rest of that with the spreadsheets. So I'm looking forward to hearing responses back on that. Just to be very clear, if I don't hear responses back from people fairly soon about those, well, we may have to kind of circle the wagon, as it were. May have to just kind of take it on and just say, okay, we're going to just have to focus on these things so that we can get everybody behind at least one or two things. If we can't get 4 or 5 people behind 4 or 5 separate things, just to make something so that we have a clear vision and a clear purpose that we can all get behind. That's something that I'm thinking about, and I'll talk more about that with the committee, but that's just talking out loud. That's something I'm considering as chair. And the last thing I want to get into was that we heard from Audrey that fire services is still hard at work with, still hard at work with innovations awards. And as I said before, we got a good thing going there. I'm pretty excited about it. So that was our meeting, and we're also glad to be able to invite a couple new members that were in attendance. Had Lisa Joyner and Jatinder Kokar. So that was exciting as well. So we are growing, we're moving and grooving.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris.
Yep. Oh, and Amrinder is in the waiting room if he hasn't been invited, let in already.
Yep.
Nope. Yep. He's in there now.
Excellent.
He's here. So yeah. So thanks for tracking him down for us. And maybe discussion for another time, but maybe just dropping the community building part at the beginning of that and just going with best practices and innovation. That might be a better a easier acronym for us, but we'll discuss that another time. So
yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Just be BPI, but let's move on to continuity and outreach. I was not able to be at the last meeting, and Jim and Tim are not here, I don't believe. From that, so Mark, I think you might have been there.
Mark and I were both there.
Bill, yeah, Bill, yeah, whoever wants to give an update.
Oh, Mark, I can fill in if Mark.
Yeah, it's as kind of all things are kind of regaining traction. The good news is that it actually is gaining traction. We've kind of had a little bit of a shift of how that looks. It took a little bit of time and some arm twisting, might have been a bribe or two, to kind of get a co-chair operation out of that organization. And so we've got, like I mentioned, Jim Williamette and Tim Deal are actually co-chairing that. So Tim's out of the Fire Service Membership Council. Both of them great ideas and really responsive, and immediately both of them key to slightly different things. So I think the collaboration of the two of them works really well to kind of fill that whole thing in. And so, we talked about this Meet the Candidates forum piece. I promised to them I would kind of build some structure around that. We also talked about kind of how that looks like moving forward, and what the connection of all the other membership councils are. Got a great matrix up there. We still want to keep that up and running. Still slightly working out kind of what looks like filling that in. But we really want that to be on the forefront of what's happening, so people can identify what everybody else is doing. That basically the big purpose of that. But then being able to cross communicate that and trying to key in the right people to be on those meetings and to be discussing those pieces, right? So a lot of times there's kind of a high level that's in that conversation, and frequently, we've talked about connecting liaisons, which might be the same term. But anyway, we talked about liaisons from one to the other, and each membership council should really be defining those. They may not be the same person. It might be maybe the membership councils have two that can kind of work within there or something like that, so that what we found is there's sometimes some conflicts, continuously conflicts, that people can't be at one. And so if you only have that one designator, sometimes that's a little bit difficult. So a little bit of kind of flushing out what that looks like, but still keeping that same focus. Really super confident of Tim and Jim's ability and capacity there. So, and then Bill, what did I miss?
No, just that for the record, and again, I'm trying to pull back on the CNO and try to keep it more of as a sharing opportunity, much like we're going to do shortly, and share from membership council liaisons. But we are going to, one of the things we've done with these two new chairs, co-chairs, is establish a regular meeting day. It'll be every other month. I think it's the odd, whatever, it's August, so that's the even number months, on the first Wednesday of every month of that month. And that will be a standing meeting where liaisons, chairs, vice chairs, and frankly, anybody connected to those councils will be invited to share for an hour updates. And then, of course, we'll get together at the ABM, and then at the mid-year hearings when we do that. But we are going to maintain a listing of who the liaisons are, and we don't need to get into it now because they will change every year when people term off or get elected off of the various councils. We do have a standing vacancy currently from the BMC to the Global Membership Council. That's a vacant position. We will have Eric Woods, who is terming off, liaison to the ELMC. And more recently, I'm not sure if you've heard, but Sam Palmer took a new job in Nevada. Good for him. And he is, I believe he's still remaining as chair of the major jurisdictions. Maybe somebody can confirm for me, but we'll need to replace him as a liaison. all of that will come out in the wash after after the ABM, and we get new liaisons. We'll probably get new chairs and vice chairs of the different councils as well, and I'll work on that. But we've established regular meeting days. We have a couple of co-chairs. Should be status quo on that end, but some of the names and liaisonships may change come the ABM as well. So that's where that stands.
And yeah, and Bill, I do see we have Sam Steele from Major Jurisdictions, who's the vice chair. But so when we get to a MJC, maybe we can let Sam kind of give an update on Sam Palmer then. So
absolutely.
But excellent. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll try to move this along here. We got about 10 minutes left. We'll try to run through the Governing Council liaison reports then, as long as we were just talking about those.
Amarinda and the raise the profile.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, Amrinder, thanks for being able to make it. Do you have any updates on the Raise the Profile group?
Thank you, Ed. I do not have any updates, just still the same standing information from the last meeting, and I will be connecting with you and Bill after the meeting here to make sure that we're ready for the next meeting for making this possible and moving it forward.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think, again, yeah, that's something we all want to see happen. So let's, yeah, we'll get together and we'll get some of that stuff moving. So excellent. Thanks. All right, Membership Council Liaison Reports. The ELMC, we already did have a bit of a report. I don't know if Rick Hoffey has anything else to add after Kevin's report earlier. I guess if you do, just sort of raise your hand.
I brought Rick in case he
there you go.
Just chime in.
Rick, anything to add?
Doesn't look that way.
He said no in the chat. So, all right. The Fire Service Membership Council.
Christine Reed. I wonder, is this Christine? If it is, who else might be here, Ed, for that? Tom Allen, I think.
That's Tom Allen. Yeah, but he had to drop off already. Is there anybody from the?
Christine Reed, maybe? Yes.
Christine's at you. If you are, we can't hear you. If you are trying to give an update. Nope. All right. Oh, I see you now. Now we just can't hear you. Why don't you just draw pictures and give us an update that way? We'll come back to you. We'll see if you can. All right. Yeah, we'll come back to you, Christine.
Christine, I'm gonna try to make you a presenter to see if that works. No, it must be on your end, your audio.
All right. Yeah, it's just fire anyway.
Wow.
All right. Is there anybody?
We're gonna have to have a talk after this.
That's right. That's right. Is there anybody from Global here? I don't think so. I didn't see Maurice in here at all.
Hey Ed, just one thing on on Global.
Yeah.
I'll give you just a little piece on that. Is one of the things, you know, a big push they're doing this year is really contact at the ABM. So they're really trying to find, and they've actually built kind of a matrix as to what they can do each day to kind of encourage people globally, literally, to come in and participate and be and kind of identify what the ABM is all about, and with that also trying to provide opportunities to look at the local community, right? If there's some tours or something like that to really get a view of kind of what's on our soil and how things operate, maybe get with the building department or something like that. So they're trying to work in a lot of great value within the ABM.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks, Mark. All right, let's move on to the major jurisdictions. Sam, we pulled you over into the participants, so you should be able to unmute yourself and give a major jurisdictions update.
Thanks, Ed. Yeah, we did have our monthly meeting last week, or actually Monday, we had it this week. And Sam did announce that he's moving on. I put his email in the chat there to the state of Nevada. It's basically the licensing board for contractors. We're checking with the legal of ICC to see if he can remain, because it is technically, you know, in the business. It's not so much in just the building aspect, but they're trying to verify that he can remain in the chairmanship. So other than that, we did discuss some items from around the country due to homelessness. A few items we talked about with virtual ASCs, like applicant service centers. We've got some interesting stuff that we're kind of compiling for our best practices, and hopefully that alignment will take place and we'll have more updates at the annual business meeting. So we're developing that program now. But we won't be having any presentations. Evidently, we've been cut short for time this year. So we'll just have a meeting only.
All right. Thanks, Sam.
You bet.
All right. Move on to the PMG. And is that Doug Wise? Are you the
Yes, sir. That
liaison
would
there?
be me.
All right. I thought so. All right.
Yeah, PMG had a meeting, yesterday? It seems like time flies when you're having fun. I missed the prior meeting that they had just preceding that. And I guess maybe the word's out on Pfeiffer is changing roles. Do we need to even talk about that? So that was discussed in the PMG. Yesterday they had a good overview. They did coverage maps. They've created these maps of the whole. I'm not sure I understand it exactly, but they have like Gary Gauthier, Richard Anderson, Jim Sika, Mark Fassel, and Lisa Reheld are the ICC people that are supporting PMG. So they got like the regional stuff. Maybe Bill can explain that a little better than I can. But
spot on, Doug. You're spot on with that. There are, much like there are GR reps for your states. We have broken up our 5 directors of PMG activities into 5 geographical areas with different states, and that map is available, I believe, on the PMG webpage.
Yes.
I would encourage you all to reach out to them, much like a GR rep. Some of them actually are acting as GR reps in some of the states, filling in gaps. But please, as much as you reach out to GR reps like myself, reach out to those PMG people as well and get some info from them.
I have copies I can share with anybody that wants it, or if I can send it to Ed. I don't want to give work to anybody else, but I've got it here. Okay, so what else happened we don't have much time. Code notes, bunch of news on code notes. These guys are smoking on the things that they're doing. They've completed code notes on nail exhaust requirements, smoke dampers, press connect fittings, CSST was an update, air admittance valves, an update, water heater safety in the I codes, it's an update. They're in final review and editing. Solar water heating systems. I mean, there's a whole list out there. Again, I can send that to anybody that's interested. I think it's on their website without
getting a very good webpage, Doug.
Yeah.
That's very, very informative.
Yeah, this group is really doing a lot of heavy lifting on stuff. So they're excited. And then there was discussion about what's going to happen. They've got, what's the other thing on the agenda? The Four Corner. I'm not sure I understand that. They're doing training events around the country. I guess they're doing one in the Northeast event, which is upcoming. And then they're going to do something with in Denver is coming up. They're looking for a location in Louisiana. If anybody knows anybody that can host a training event for PMG, and they're looking for suggestions, I guess, for anybody that's got it. And they're working on social media stuff. You know, I hate to say it, guys. I'm the worst person. I'm a dinosaur because I've never been assimilated. You know, and I don't do social. I don't do tweets, and I don't do face. I have a face, but I don't do Facebook. And I didn't join Trump Social either. So I'm like, I'm out of that stuff. But I guess they're doing big stuff in there. They talked about the leadership award. They announced who they're giving it to because I guess they want to make sure that person is here. I don't know if I should say that here or not. I'll defer to the chair.
Sounds good. No, yeah, we can say that as a surprise at the.
Make it a surprise. You could email it to. I can email it to you if you ask me.
Yeah.
And that's it.
All right. We also do have Patrick Tomasino in here. I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to add, Patrick, but.
I didn't really have anything to add other than to reiterate that the code notes are really a key factor of what this group does, and there's quite a bit going on there. So
excellent.
Thanks.
Yep. Thanks. We did get in the chat update from Christine. She said, sorry, your audio's not working, but she appreciates collaboration between the two groups on the Code of Innovation Award, and then looking forward to continue developing the GC web pages on the new format and preparing for Louisville. And then she said that the BMC GC is actually the far superior governing committee. I'm really surprised that she would have put that into her report, but I appreciate her for bringing that up to us. So thank you, Christine. And then last but not least, sustainability. Robin, are you still here? It looks like it.
I am still
All
here. Right. Been a long one, but no, not really much to update. They had a meeting on July 17th, or June 17th, I'm sorry. June 17th, Greg Johnson was quite funny during the entire meeting, made Allison do all of the heavy lifting, so that was funny. They also have announced their award winner, but I will not share that. I know her personally, so I'm really excited for her. And then other than that, they just had a really great building safety month with all their videos and wanted to make sure that all of the other councils and committees knew that they appreciated all of our help and assistance and participation. And I don't know if anybody from SMC is on the call. I couldn't see anybody, but just in case if anybody else wants to jump in and add anything.
I didn't notice anyone. I do also want to mention that Director Boso put the PMG responsibility map in the chat. So if anybody is interested in that, that's in the chat there as well. But all right, I think that kind of closes the liaison reports. Actually, Robin, as long as we got you, do you have like a 30-second energy code update for us?
Oh, Lord, Ed, you want it to be 30 seconds? No, I can do a 30 seconds. So the committee action report has been posted for both residential and commercial. At this point, now all of our committee members have to go through and vote on that. CAR, there's options, either affirmative, you approve all of the proposals, or if you basically say no with comment, you're approving certain proposals, but others you have to submit a comment on. We have literally 3 iterations of potential voting before that public comment draft is published. We might have to have committee meetings in a couple months to resolve any issues that we have on proposals that we cannot get the 2/3 consensus. And then once that public comment draft is published, it'll be open until October, and then we get to redo the process all again.
Sounds like fun. Excellent. I'll keep
yeah.
up good work on that. And yeah, I can't imagine what that's like. So yeah.
I'll share with you at some point, Ed.
Yep, I'm sure. So, all right. Running down towards the end of the meeting here, we do have the non-BMC GC members time. So if there's anybody in the attendees list, which is slowly dwindling here, but if anybody has anything to bring up or discuss, or anybody has any final thoughts or comments from the attendees, please raise your hand and we can unmute you and listen to what you have to say. All right, and I'm not seeing anybody jumping in there. So with that, our next meeting, we're going to be in Louisville for the next meeting in person, September 14th. Like Bill mentioned earlier, on Wednesday, we will have dinner on that Monday, the 12th. That'll be more details on that to come, more details on the CNO, kind of a membership council get together from everybody. more details on that to come. Anything I'm missing on that, Bill? You look like you got something to say.
As I look at the agenda, it does note our next meeting is at 9 a.m. in Louisville, but the full membership council is at 8 a.m.
Yes.
So no partying on Tuesday night. Yet
Well,
don't anybody hang out with Boso is in trouble. So if they hang out with him on Tuesday, they're going to be in trouble on Wednesday. Get there at 8 a.m.
The only thing you're going to get in trouble for is if you mispronounce the name of the town. It's Louisville, not Louisville.
Louisville.
Don't want you to be disappeared, Bill.
Okay, I get it.
And that 8 o'clock meeting, that's where we're going to vote on all of the new governing committee members. So make sure that you do attend that. Doug, you got your hand up? You got a question?
Yeah, yes, sir. I was just questioning the nominating committee. Do they have to meet ahead of that? Are you going to call a special meeting?
Yep.
So that'll be prior to that. You'll announce it. Okay.
We're going to do it on social media, Doug.
Oh God. I have to get my kids to help me.
Ed and Bill, you're basically telling me that I have to be up at 5 a.m. for our meeting because I will have to be doing virtual.
That's right.
Cool.
Yes.
I'm going to be looking really great.
Well, the 5 a.m. part you don't have to worry about because that I think you have to be in person to vote. So yes, you can sleep in till 6 then.
No,
Robin,
not for that. I don't.
That's a good question. Good
Strongest
point.
coffee. It works wonders.
That's a good point, though, Robin. We are not doing the full membership council meeting virtually, but we are doing all of the other councils are virtual. So you'll be able to join at 9 a.m., which is 6 a.m. So you get an extra hour of sleep.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
While we're here, quickly, is there anybody other than Robin that is not attending PBM?
Dan Dockery's not making it.
And will you be virtual, Dan? Okay, good. I'm not sure of Audrey though either. Audrey was on the fence. So anyway, we'll make it work. Okay. Whoever shows, we'll make it work. We'll get our quorum and we'll do virtual and we'll get it done.
Sounds good. Anybody have anything else that they want to bring up? Any other closing thoughts? We're a few minutes over, but all right, I don't see any hands being raised. So thanks everybody. Great meet. Oh, Mike, was that a hand raise? No. Okay. Thanks everybody for a great meeting. Can't wait to see you all in about 2 months or so from now. And Ben Bredmore, is that a no? He's just raising his hand too. Everybody's just
that was just a hand clap.
Throwing hands up
there. It was one hand clapping, I guess.
They're testing the chair.
Yep. I'm trying to get you guys out of here, and everybody keeps making emojis at me here. So thanks everybody. Go out, enjoy some weather, take a kid fishing, take a kid to a ball game, take a kid to go do something with them, teach them some code, whatever you want to do.
Deja vu with Dan and Dan. That's not Dan talking, but it feels like Dan.
There you go. All right. Do we need a motion to adjourn? I don't think we do, but all right, there we go. Do we got a second?
Second.
Somebody seconds. All right. All in favor. We are adjourned. I'm not even waiting for you all to.
See you guys.
Thank you all. Be safe, everyone.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in Louisville.